I think this would be a good time to sort of maybe get your PowerPoint up if you can. Polly's been great, and she's organised a sort of PowerPoint of previous work and current work.
So basically, I done my level 3 at obviously South Essex College, which was just a general art and design course, and then I went over to the foundation because I thought I wasn't ready to leave home and I didn't have any confidence whatsoever. So I was like, I'll try out the foundation, and obviously they broadened, like literally I thought to myself, I'm going to try out all different like ideas, and they opened up my mind completely to different styles of art basically. And so at the beginning I pretty much loved like just drawing and painting, and I thought to myself like I don't want to broaden that anymore, but they said to me like, no, try out this, try out that. So I ended up doing like lino cuts and like what do you call it, like linos. They gave me different theories of like working with fabrics, and it was very much like different styles of art. And I thought to myself like they really did open my mind. And then they told me like even when you go to university they want you to like develop like where you see yourself, and they tell you like different styles. And then when I got to university, it was very much everyone loved digital, and that's the thing. I was like, oh, I'm not too sure about digital. And then like I thought I could use it and bring the two together. So I ended up having like normal drawings, and then I was sending them to, I've got my iPad that I use, and I'm obsessed with Procreate now, so I'm constantly using my pencil and I'm always like doodling on there. But obviously I won't ever stop doing the paintings and the drawings. You open up your mind more. That's the only way I can kind of explain it.
Yeah. Going into a new environment, do you feel that made you more open to trying new softwares?
Definitely, yeah. Like university, it was very much like I'll try it and see how I feel, and then when you're around other people, they're like, don't worry if making any mistakes. They're like, you can just try again. Like you can literally just get a rubber or just another bit of paper, and like keep obviously they like tell you they prefer you to keep all your rough work because you might end up coming back to it. Like you've got to generate so many ideas. So this is actually my level 3 diploma in art and design at college. Basically I worked, it was very much drawings and paintings, and I was very much like, nope, I don't want to try anything else. I was very like closed-minded, and I was like, I don't like to try anything else. I don't like get my hands dirty, and I was really nervous obviously trying new things. And then as I like developed in college and I kind of obviously thought of the idea of going to university, kind of slipped in my mind, and I thought maybe I should start trying new things and obviously developing my skills. And I noticed obviously in college majorly was working with different companies. Like they gave us like examples of stuff that you'd use in like the real world. So like in front of like you can see now is I done like logo designs for the Foundling Museum, which is up in London. And like they basically said to us like you can be as like free as you want to just try new things, like even looking at color palettes and stuff. Like in college it was very much like you do you, and like they gave us help and they supported us. But definitely university, like they completely changed. Like they like go through every tiny little detail of you, like even down to like if you're not sure about a color palette, the tutor will go through like colors of paints with you, and they'll say like this looks professional, like you should maybe you should change this and maybe you should do that. And it's like they give you that massive push, and I think like I definitely needed that. So this is actually my foundation work that I done.
So just to clarify, when you talk about foundation, that's an extra year at college. If you're under 19, that's free. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I decided to do my foundation because I didn't have any confidence of leaving home. Like I had the idea of obviously going to university, and I looked at going to like literally all over. Like Falmouth was the one that stood out for me the most because I saw like so many like successes that are coming from Falmouth, and like even knowing that Dawn French is like the main like coordinator and she's like the head of it, and I was like, whoa, like Dawn French is massive. And like even down to like going to the open days and interviews, like it really did like open my eyes. And definitely going to like the open day, it was like I stepped there and I thought it had that homely effect as well. Like you walk around like the university, you don't even feel like you're in university. Like you feel like you're a part of another little family. And like to be honest, like it felt like I was on a holiday park because there's like palm trees everywhere, there was flowers, and yeah, I wasn't sure of obviously leaving home, so I decided to do my foundation. And doing that foundation, like the teachers at South Essex, they definitely like pushed me to try new things. So like with on the screen on the top right, you can see, which is screens. I was using like it's very similar to like screen printing. I was using like fabric inks, and I was dyeing them onto bags, and I was making bags and t-shirts. And then I was basically like building up my own company on the side. So I was like thinking of different ideas, and I was pushing myself straight away.
Sort of based in Western and the North Somerset area, and I know Western College runs a similar foundation art year before students go to university. So would you recommend that year? And what would you say the difference is between what you learned on that foundation art year and then the next slide that we're going to go see, which is your uni work?
So my foundation was very much I definitely would like I'd definitely push people to do their foundation, because obviously the massive confidence jump, and I'd like told myself, well, maybe I'm not good enough for university, and maybe I won't be able to make any friends, and maybe I won't go anywhere. But doing the foundation, it's just, you don't think of it as an extra year. Like you're there, and the time just flies by, and you do so much in that short amount of time as well. And it really did like broaden my ideas of like trying new things. So like you'll notice like the style of my work completely changes. So like with this, I done like a witchcraft project, and I thought like I'm very much like happy, smiley, like doing like bright colours. And with this project, it was really dark, and it's like a good kind of dark twist to it. And like changing like how you see the world and stuff. Like you do reflect that in your work.
This work is your degree work, am I correct?
This was like as soon as I started university. This was the beginning.
So was that like a project from the university, or was that something that you creatively decided to pursue?
So with university, when you first start, they do push you to have, they give you like obviously 2 separate projects. So you have actually the uni work, which they actually give you like set based projects, and they basically say to you like do research, and they give you, I think our first project was like visual studies. So it's very much like being experimentative and trying new things. And they say to you like bring out any material you can think of. So we was using like bamboo sticks, and we was using like the end of paintbrushes, like the other handle end, and they was giving us inks and like using pastels. And I literally sat there and thought, oh my god, it's going to be so messy, I want to get everything everywhere. But that really did push me as well at the beginning of university, because I'm very much like using my paintbrushes, and I'm very like stick to the line and like be very precise, and like the OCD kicks in. But like especially like in university, they tell you like don't worry if you make mistakes, because that's your way of learning as well.
Totally, absolutely.
The work you can see right now, that's they give you another project which is like personal learning. So you get given like a personal, like you get your own personal sketchbook, and it's you, like you basically show your personality through the pages. So you're telling a story. So like with my work, I literally love working with animals. So that's basically my work there. So with the research side, this is basically looking at like other artists and showing like your influences and like where you get your inspiration from. So obviously in front you can see like my biggest inspiration is obviously Beatrix Potter and the Peter Rabbit books. So the work you can see now is this was literally the start making my portfolio for university. So this was when I was at foundation, and this was like right at the end, and they say to you like build up your portfolio and show like your skill set. So if you're interested in going to university, you're building up your sketchbook. And I took a sketchbook with me, and I took a massive portfolio, like a probably A1 folder, and I made like wallets. So inside the wallets I took different paintings, different like different styles of art. Basically, like in the top left hand corner, that was for the Fandom Museum. I done like stickers designs, and like using inks, and like using like how I could use that in the real world. And then I was using like illustrated menus for like cafes and what do you call it, like a food shop basically. And I was looking at how you can decorate menus and stuff. And like with my portfolio, you have to show like your personality and how and where you want to be. Like when you're creating your portfolio for university, it's really important to like just show every little part of you through the pages. And like obviously I made like t-shirt designs as well. I'm very passionate towards like, obviously you're learning, but you need to see it as like you want that as a career, like you want that as a job when you actually leave university, or even when you leave college. Like where like you got to think to yourself like, yeah, you enjoy it now, but could you use it as a career in the future? So I kind of push myself knowing that, can I make money from it? That's the biggest thing to think about.
Definitely. So you're talking really like passionately and confidently about your work.
Yeah.
When did you start getting that sort of confidence? And do you feel that you had other people in your class who, you know, were maybe as good as you, but then didn't drive on to university?
So my best friends actually at home, I'm literally still like best friends with them now. It's a weird one because we all started off as best friends at college, and we all loved like exactly the same thing, but they thought, oh, I'm not too sure about university, and their problem would be the distance. And I said to them, I was like, literally, if you need to experience being away from home, and then you'll tell yourself like, why did I ever doubt myself for that long? And like I said to her, I was like, you got to try it. And actually, like one of my best friends now is obviously she's just started like Brighton University, so she's got that little bit of a distance from like home in Essex. So it's literally like 2 hours drive from home.
Yeah.
So that's giving her just that little bit more of a push. And obviously, like especially like going to university, being around people, you're all there for support no matter what. So that's actually still my college work.
Okay, cool.
And my foundation. It was just adapting on from the menus and designing for I done like a juice bar kind of aspect to it, and even down to my style of work. I look at my style of work when I was at college and I compare it to like where I am now, and it's like you do really improve, like without even realizing like your artwork will completely change.
Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? What do you feel contributes to that? So that change in your art, is it the teaching? Is it the fact that you're in a new environment? Is it the fact that you're a couple of years older? Is it a mixture of all of them?
I think it actually is a mixture of all of them, to be honest, because when you get older you start to think like, don't even bother worrying about like what anyone else thinks. It's like, obviously when you're in school it's like, oh, I don't want to show my work because I'm scared of what, like, or I have like people sneering and laughing in the corner, and it's like, well no, you've got to show like your work. If you're passionate towards it, like don't worry about what anyone else thinks. And then it's like, but then it's like, actually when you go to college, when you go to university, it's like having that person to tell you, like you notice like the age difference as well. Like when you're in school it's like no one tells you in school. It's like, well, how do I improve? But then going to college and then going to university, it's like you sit there and you speak to people around you, and you speak to the tutors and the teachers, and you say like, I want to improve this, how do I do it? And like they actually sit down and go through it with you, so you notice that difference in age as well.
What about getting into a new environment then? Did that help?
Yeah, definitely. Like being around other art students, it's like it does really influence you to like try new things. And it's just the matter of fact of being away from home, being at an art school, and it's like you have fun with it, you enjoy what you're doing. This is all my current work, so
Cool.
These are all obviously featured on my Instagram. So I've got my own personal like illustration account, and it's really important to obviously upload your work, because not only are you getting in like comments and like people obviously seeing your work and giving you that little bit of a confidence boost as well. So obviously on my illustration account, it's I pretty much put literally anything that comes to mind, any like sort of inspiration I get, like even down to taking photos of like my notebook and writing down different ideas and planning. And then like it's really important to show like the development as well, because you might look at a piece of work and think, oh, it's just a rough sketch, like it's probably just going to go in the bin. But actually you develop it over time. You think, oh, that one idea that came into my mind, I might end up using that in the future. So it's really good to like document it all, especially like online as well.
Definitely. So you said that you've got a professional Instagram, and I imagine you've got a personal Instagram. So could you talk to me about like the advantages of having a professional Instagram, and why you feel it's important to have it, and any top tips for, I suppose, maintaining a professional Instagram?
So having the Instagram at the beginning, I thought to myself, I want to make a Bibby Illustrations like account, and I basically made that purely the fact of finding inspiration and obviously looking at other illustrators as well. So even looking at other artists, that's a whole like environment of being around other people, and it's like even if like I don't know, one day you wake up and think, oh no, I've got no ideas whatsoever, and it's just the fact of brainstorming it. And another really, really top tip is going onto Pinterest as well. Like I use Pinterest as an app, and I have that literally on my phone, my iPad, my laptop, and I'm always going on there just to find some sort of idea that comes into my mind. Like sometimes you might not generate ideas, so going on there, you literally see artwork all over the place. And literally going on there, it's definitely the confidence boost, and like communicating with other artists. So my big like inspiration was like the Tracy Beaker books, and the actual illustrator for Tracy Beaker books was Nick Sharratt. And I actually emailed him and contacted him on Instagram, and he actually replied back when I was in college. And I basically said to him, I was like my whole life I've wanted to be like you, basically. And like I obviously went into detail and said like I've always wanted to be a children's illustrator and I want to publish my own books. And he basically said to me, he was like, you know within yourself if you're capable of doing it, like deep down, like you know that if that's where you want to be, like don't let anyone stop you. And he basically said like going to college and especially going to university, it's sketching, like you just keep on like sketching, keep on pushing yourself, even if you feel like, oh no, maybe I'm not good enough, just every day is like another step. And that's basically what he said to me. And I thought to myself, like going to university, that was a big like change as well.
Yeah, that's an amazing message. When I reflect back, it's a sort of age, especially at school and in college, where there is a little bit of doubt that creeps in. You really care about, you know, what your friends think, maybe even more than what you like. You start doing things because your friends like them rather than you liking them.
Exactly.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
But what's really nice about that is message from him is like, if it is you and it is what you want to do, you know inside that that's your path. And sometimes that takes you away from certain peer groups and whatever, but I can tell from the interview that you're really enjoying yourself, and you know you can maintain friendships long distance and everything like that, can't you? But you get to do both.
That's the thing, like having friends all over the country, it's just nice. It's reassuring knowing that anywhere you go in the world, you've always got someone to talk to. And it's like, even being back home, like you appreciate the people that I definitely appreciate my family more as well. Like that's a big thing as well. Like experiencing being away from home for that whole year, I was very much like, oh, my mum's annoying me at this point, like I just want to get away from her. And then it's like when you're away from your family, like especially my mum, like she's literally my best mate, and it's like when you're away from her, it's like, well, I didn't realise how much she did for me. And you don't realise like she does my washing, my cleaning, like even just having someone to talk to, or like do you want a cup of tea, like when you wake up in the morning. It's like when you're on your own and you're living away from home, it's like, well, where's that gone? Like you feel like a bit of you's like lost, and then you start to think to yourself, no, I'm capable of doing it on my own. And it's that you realise you're an actual adult at that point, and it's really refreshing, and like you push yourself even more, and you have that. It's just a fact of going from that childhood stage to being a teenager, and then now I'm an adult, and it's like it's just crazy knowing that how much can change in just that small, like a small period of time.